I'm going to get a little bit more practice in with the crutch sharpening system tonight. And I'm going to use my new Ganzo FH11 to do that. Love Them Knives YouTube channel recently reviewed this, and he showed where this knife was actually tested. The knife that he had tested was proven to be D2 with a hardness, I think it was 60, maybe 62 HRC. I think it was 62 HRC, which is excellent heat treat for D2. So, that being said, the stones I'm going to use tonight are going to be my silicon carbide stones. I'm not going to bother using aluminum oxide or, you know, my Shapton Pro, my Shapton glass. When I use those stones on D2, I always have issues. Before I get started though, we've got a problem here at the sharpening choil. I'm sure you can see that little ramp. It's where the choil and the ricasso and the plunge line all meet because it wasn't extended out far enough. So the plunge line along with the edge are intersecting, creating that ramp, which will also create a recurve because of differential grinding. So I've got to extend this out and enhance it. I've been asked about 1,000 times, how do I do that? I use these needle diamond files. I picked them up from Harbor Freight. They're like 10 bucks. I don't even know if they're that expensive. And ordinarily for this task, I just use this little round diamond file. And all I do, select where I'm going to grind, which I'm going to grind right there at the tip of that. So I'm going to start right in here where the plunge line actually intersects and start grinding. And I'm going to start out real slow at first, get a groove cut in. Just get a groove cut in, started. Maybe that'll show up, maybe it won't. Once I've got that little groove, something that the file can actually rest inside of, I can start broadening my strokes. And at some point, once I've got a nice divot in there, I can actually start grinding from the top down, like this. And I just continue this process until I get that shaped the way I want it. I'm not going to bore you guys with this full entire grinding session. So now at this point, I've got a little ramp I've got to get rid of right here in the middle. And to do that, it's just grinding. You know, you just get in there and start shaping it the way you want it. I'm gonna let you get rid of this. So that's pretty much it for my little sharpening notch. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not 100% satisfied with that transition, but it'll do for now. So next up, I'm gonna get my crutch set up, get it put on this knife, and we'll get the stone together, get everything ready to rock and roll. Well, I was going to use the crutch to sharpen this knife with. Unfortunately, because this knife is flat ground, and where I was having to clamp it at, it was causing me to grind into the clamp, or I'd have to scoot the clamp back further. And because it's a flat ground knife, I wasn't getting a good bite. So we're gonna have to do this knife freehand without the crutch. So another shortcoming of guided systems, unfortunately. I like them, I think they have their place, but they do have limitations. So this knife has an extremely obtuse angle from the factory, and we're going to have to broaden that out some to get a good edge on it. And because this belly thickens out some on the bevel itself, it's going to thicken there as well. Not going to be super pretty, but when it's all said and done, most people probably wouldn't notice it unless you pointed it out to them. Now this is the 240 grit silicon carbide stone from Gritomatic. One of my favorite stones, especially for dealing with wear resistant steels. Steels like Maximate, S90V, S110V. These are my go-to stones for those. This is the 1K Gritomatic silicon carbide stone. That back Picasso area is just being a pain in the butt. Not wanting to cooperate. Final stone, 2500 grit. Actually, this is not going to be my final stone. I'm going to take it up to 5 or 8K, I'm not sure. Now, I lapped and conditioned these stones some time ago, and it appears this 2500 grit still has the conditioning left on the surface. It's really aggressive. It's not a bad thing. Just wasn't expecting that. I'm gonna jump straight into my 5K, but I'm pretty sure this can handle removing the scratches from that 2500 grit stone. And once I've gotten started, if it doesn't look like it can, I'll just drop down to the 2K. I almost never use this stone unless I'm sharpening a straight razor, so figured I'd bring it out just for giggles. Never gets use, so why not tonight? I can't remember the micron level of this. I'll have it in the description in case you're curious. It's like half a micron or close to it, maybe 0.9, 0.8. Basically, it makes stropping obsolete. You don't even need to strop until after you've used a stone. You really don't need to strop. I do anyway just because stropping helps the scratch pattern blend in better. But as far as the edge, this stone is quite capable of giving you the same results. If you wanted to remove a burr, but didn't want to use leather because you don't want to round your edge for whatever reason, this stone is a perfect alternative. It is a little pricey, but when I purchased this in my 8K, I got a pretty nice discount from Chef Knives to Go. It was basically a buy one get one free. So I got the 8K and the 15K. I rarely use them, like I said, unless I'm sharpening a straight razor. 5K is normally my stopping point, and then I strop. I'm not even sure if D2 would benefit from this, but we're going to do it anyway. Final step as always, stropping. And this is just leather with a little bit of metal polish. It's getting about time to clean it. This thing is just loaded with steel. Show you guys this bevel before we get started testing the edge. .106, 109. Let me scoot forward so you guys can see this a little better. .135. 141. Those numbers started going up because I have my hand resting on the plate. $173. And $181. So doing the average, the flat came out to 117, the belly 165. Those numbers are a lot higher than I would have liked. I think it's probably from my stropping. I believe I stropped too long on this knife. I was trying to get some scratches out down here in the ricasso area and up in the belly as well, and I probably rounded things out. I got most of the scratches out though. I mean, this thing is bright and shiny, but I think I sacrificed some sharpness doing that. Oh well. Those numbers are still respectable. I got no complaints as far as that goes. Perfectly sharp. Completely capable of doing everything I need a knife to do. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, leave them at the bottom. I'll have these numbers at the end of the video along with the best chart. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.